about to say, grab one, take it, then.
All right, guys.
You gotta find your writing pencil.
Let's get this thing going so y'all can get ready and do something. I just want to get together with some of you guys. Some of them I know, some of them I don't know. We want to talk to you some things about independent wrestling. Now, we've all been independent wrestling, a lot of you guys for years. A lot of guys were trained in different places, but there's some things going on that I want to talk about and have you think about that you might want to correct in the ring. The one thing that I worked with you guys before out here was whipping from corner to corner. If you watch shows and you watch guys whip guy from this corner to that corner, they like to do this. They like to take one step and then the guy has to run the rest of the way by himself. That's totally ridiculous. Those fans want to see you whip the guy. It's called a shuffle. You can maybe shuffle your feet.
Or you just watch too much lucha.
That could be it too.
Because the lucha guys, they do the same thing. They're just like, they have more effort going into the ropes.
So think about that when you work and you're whipping the guy. Think about that little shuffle move that gets you further. You want to be at least in the center of the ring when you give the guy the whip. And you want to go ahead and make it look strong. You can put your hand on his back and give him a little extra shove. Don't push him so hard he loses balance. Okay? That's one of my biggest pet peeves in the Indies.
The Rock's an awful example of wrestling, but he's a great example of shooting somebody off the ropes.
Yes, watch those guys out there. You don't see them do that.
With his hand across the back.
Yeah. You don't see those guys do it. When you watch WWE, TNA, Evolve, Dragon Gate, any of these bigger groups, CWZ, FIP, all these guys, watch them. Go ahead and enjoy it. Watch it as a fan. Stop watching it as a fan when it's over. Rewind it. Watch it again as a worker. Watch the workers that you're interested in. Pay attention to what they do. Turn the sound down, whatever you want. Pay attention to the workers in the ring and how they do the moves and what kind of moves they do. I'm always big, and we're talking all the time about facial expressions. If you watch Undertaker and CM Punk's match, watch their faces. Don't even pay attention to the moves. Watch the facial expressions from Punk and Undertaker. That is what the fans key on, is whether you are showing pain, surprise, happiness, when you got a headlock and you're actually working it, it shows in your face, it shows in your body movement, it shows in everything you're doing. And I know that sounds like, oh my God, he's talking stupid, simple stuff. Think about it. When you practice that. There's a camera I got right here. The reason I got a camera on me doing this is because I'm going to look at it later and see my strengths and my weaknesses. You all should be doing that. If you can't afford a camera, ask somebody with the camera. Please do my match so that you're watching it. Don't go home and watch your match and go, oh my gosh, I look great. No, you don't. You don't have enough matches. You're indie guys. You can always improve in every phase of the game. Don't sit there and say, oh, that's great. Sit there and say, where are my weaknesses? What looks like I could make better? Do that. Stop letting it go to your head and start using your brain in your head. Okay? It's simple. I did it in the 80s. I recorded my match at home. I watched it. I said, that looked like crap. Next time I get to the ring, I'm going to work on that. It's very simple. Keep a notepad so that you can do this and bring it to here and do it. Always advise guys, keep notes and bring it to your practice. Study it when you're home. It's important. Believe me, it will pay off. Whether you think it will or not, it will. The other thing I want to talk to all you guys about, and I want to bring this up, is fantasy wrestlers. Now I started, you guys started with a particular wrestler that you really like, wrestler that you like, that you want to be like that guy. That's fine, if you can be like that guy. Don't choose Stone Cold Steve Austin and you're 150 pounds or you're 350 pounds. You're never going to be Stone Cold Steve Austin. Learn your weaknesses. Think about your weaknesses. Think about your strength. Develop your own image and your character. Do not try to be that wrestler on TV. Think about what you can do. what you are special at, what is good for you, because that's what you want to show the fans, what you can do well. You don't want to show them the things that Stone Cold did and you can't do them. You don't want to show them that you're CM Punk. They already see him every Monday. Well, not right now, he's off. But you get it? They already see that stuff. Don't show them the same stuff. Show them you, your character, your personality. Connect with that crowd. You know, and that drops us back to facial expressions and connecting with the crowd. We'll get on, let me mention this. This word.
The thing with the facial expressions too is like, you gotta imagine like, you're not just selling to the front row. Like you gotta imagine you're selling to these imaginary rafters, you know, it's very theater-like where, you know, they wear big makeup. That's why you have to make big expressions so everybody in the back can see what's going on with your face, because every show doesn't have a screen on the back wall or something like that, so you gotta make everything big. You have to sell shit, but people don't understand what's going on. They don't feel for you. If you don't react right, then they're not going to respond right.
Absolutely, it is theater. That's exactly what we're doing. We are doing theater. It's athletic. It's hard to do. Everybody thinks they can be a wrestler. That drives me insane. The people that think I watch wrestling on TV so I can do it, they don't even bother to go get trained. They just jump in the ring and say they can do it. No other business, no other sport, nothing. You don't think you're as good as a master carpenter because he's really good. He's been on the job for a long time. He's learned that. That's what it takes. You can't be the greatest wrestler in the world until you've paid your dues, you've been trained, and you've been in this business and learned it in the ring. A lot of guys, and I've talked to some of y'all here, a lot of guys have been in the business 5 years. They say, okay, in 5 years, how many matches have you had? Well, about once a month. Okay, so in 5 years, you've had 60 matches. So you're not a 5-year veteran, you're a 60-match veteran. There's a big, big difference in that. How many matches you've been in the ring and worked is what you are. That's where you learn. So think about that. You know, okay, I've been in this business, around this business for 5 years. And I need to get my butt in here, I need to work so I can book, so that I can be the wrestler that I really want to be. Part of being a wrestler is being in shape and athletic. You don't have to be. I see this guy in the gym every day. You know, he's not a bodybuilder that's 300 pounds. He's in the gym every day. It helps being almost 7 foot tall, but you know, that's what you got to think about. How much do I want to give back to this? And part of giving back is getting in athletic shape. You do not have to be a bodybuilder, but you've got to be in shape. You can't get out there and blow up in the 3rd minute you're in the ring. You can't go out there and make people think you're an athlete if you don't look somewhat like an athlete. And here comes, what about Brodus Clay? Well, unless Snoop Dogg is your adopted dad, forget about Brodus Clay. You know, what about Tenzon? Well, you better look and see how many years he's been in the business and learn. You know, think about these guys, where they came from. Yeah, not a great character, but how many of y'all would take that spot? Everybody can take that spot. It's money. It's money. That's what we're doing. Now I'm going to go through this. This is called progression. It is the only word that matters in wrestling. Everything else doesn't matter because wrestling is progression. Everything. Think about it. Think about it. When you start a match and you're telling a story, you start simple in the beginning. You're going to start bad guy, good guy. So you're going to start off. The good guy will start and prove that he's a better wrestler than the bad guy. It's a simple start, simple story. 99% of indie wrestlers cannot tell a simple story in the ring because you guys will get in the ring and you'll start off and then all of a sudden you start doing move after move that makes no sense. It just pops in your brain so you do it. Let's try not to do that. Let's try to think about a simple story. Get your simple story down first. So your progression goes from here to here on your story. That's the match that starts. That's the bell that ends it. So everything you do, you start slow and it builds up to the finish. To an exciting finish, we hope, right? Everything also works that way. I talked to a guy and he was saying, I didn't like the guy who did that match because when he kicked out, he didn't get his shoulder off the mat in the last second. And they said, well, he was like 5 minutes in. No, it should be hold it so the fans will pop. And I said, no, it's a progression. If you get a cover right here in the match, a 1 count, kick out. It's early. You're fresh. Why would you be down to 2.5? 2.5, 2 3/4 is up here where it's been a long match. You're trying to get that crowd on its feet.
It's a basic match.
Basic.
This is basic match.
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah. Basic, starting, first story, you're going to get in there and tell match. That's what you want to do. Everything progresses. When you do a promo, doesn't it progress? You start off slow, you're talking, you slowly build that promo up to at the end of the promo, you're getting your point across strong. Is that right? So that's a progression. That's what you're doing. That's what everybody does in your first 5, 6, 7 years in the ring. Get your first story match down where you can do that any way that you need to do it. You can get in there and tell this basic story. What happens is, get that eraser here. That's level 1. Level 1, like I say, 99% of the guys can't make level 1. They get in the ring and they make mistakes and they forget, they panic. Everybody talks the match over in the back. You get in the ring, you miss a spot, all of a sudden you freeze in the ring and you go, I missed a spot. What am I going to do? Do that. Just go on. The fans weren't in the back listening to what you guys were planning to do. They don't know you missed a spot. Grab a headlock. Just grab something. Calm down. Take your time. Talk to each other. Go back with it. You see a lot of guys.
Miss a spot. We're not go back into the spot.
No. Be smarter than that.
Go to the next spot. Segue. Don't get that much of a mark.
I know I'm smaller than you, but when you take a headlock, I see a lot of these guys, they're like this. That's not a headlock. That's a headlock. Why? We can communicate. We can communicate so he can say something.
And you want to display the guy's face too. You want the guy to get up and be like.
I would always do mine in here so I'm on the jaw. So you do it, because that's I learned on that. And we can talk. Absolutely. So that's just very simple stuff. Jose, you went up to WrestleCon and you got to do a tryout up there. Yes. You learned a lot, right?
Yes.
Because what they did, what did they want to see? They wanted to see the basics, right?
They didn't want you to do what you thought they wanted to see. They wanted to see what you were capable of.
Right. And that's the basics. Even as an arm drag, you know, when you lock up, and for God's sakes, guys, lock up. This is my other pet peeve. You know, two guys in the ring, this is what they do. Here, just do what I do. We're in the ring, we're locking up. They start doing this. You know, going, holy crap, they go like this 3 times. Who the hell wants to see that? And what real fight does that happen in? None. Watch MMA, watch boxing. When they get in the ring, they start doing that. Try
They cut corners, yeah.
And then when they lock
About
up,
who the more dominant person is in that role, whether it's, you know, heel.
if I'm the smaller guy, I don't want you to cut me off. So I'm trying to find my angle that I can get.
If you're a baby and you got a lot of aggression, you're always going to go straight to the heel. The heel should always cower, like, definitely.
Yes. But when you lock up, for God's sakes, lock up like it means something, you know?
Yeah.
Grab that guy. I see guys doing this all the time. You know, up there waving at your girlfriend. You know, your hand goes back here, you're in control of your work. So it's just basic, simple stuff. Most of the guys already know it.
When you do that, when you make that, makes them, it's like, you know, it's like a stick of dynamite going on, makes an impact.
The way it was explained to me, like two rams coming together.
Yeah.
You're bullying.
I catch myself doing it a lot too nowadays, where it's just like, you're just like, you know, it's
And
like,
you're
don't
thinking
be that way.
You're thinking of the moves, you're thinking of things, and you gotta
the next move.
lock up and then think. You know, this is all very simple. It's little things that you can tweak to make it just a little better in the ring in front of people. All right, we'll go back to, I want to go back to progression again. And Dagon kind of brought up, it was the first match. As you go to level 2, please get level 1 down where you can tell a story in the ring.
I just just want to say that also that scenario is the same for tag team wrestling.
Yes.
It's the exact same story. You just have two more people involved. It's the same thing. It's shine, heat, shine.
Absolutely. Now, tag team wrestling has kind of gone down because you don't really get to see as much as was happening in the 80s and the 90s. If you can, go to YouTube and look that stuff up and watch the tag teams from back then. There's smart stuff in there, unfortunately. But, when you move to level 2, instead of a progression that goes straight up, level 2, you're going to start things differently. You may not start down here. I was talking to John Davis. He went up. He was there at WrestleCon. He worked with AR Fox at WrestleCon. I don't know who AR Fox and John Davis is. He talked to me. He said Gabe wanted them to start at a level about here. He wanted it that fast and that quick at the start. So we laid out an match. We talked about it. It wasn't a match we did, but we just were going over it. What I like to do is if any of you guys want to contact my site, give me a call. My phone number's on there. I like to call. All you guys that I call, you know I talk forever. I love talking wrestling, but he started here. Now you can't stay here because it's a flatline. Fans don't get invested in what you're doing.
As I recall, the first move in that match was the stunner.
Yes. But you can't keep doing the same kind of moves. The fans will just start losing interest. You've got to start here, and as it goes, you may dip down and slow it down some. And then as AR Fox made his comeback, it goes up. So all of a sudden, you're seeing something like this. It's not just a progression. It is, but it also has regression. And regression means you slow it down a little bit. A lot of times you may blow up, you get a little rest. A lot of times you may need to talk about something. A lot of times you're trying to get the crowd to sit back down because they can't keep standing up. You want them to pop when you want them to pop. That's important. They can't do it the whole time. So when it happens, make it mean something. So this is like really about level 3 or 4 when you start off something and you're doing this type of stuff. That's what you want to work. When you get to the top level, you can forget about everything. Because that's what I like. The up and down, up and down. What's WWE? Watch the matches they do. He goes up and down, up and down, up and down, up and down. Guys, the baby take care of it. The heel cut him off. Outside the ring. And that brings me to something that really bugs me now too.
That just leads into like when you're more established with a group of people, an audience, certain show, you're able to have these different dynamics of matches because the people are more invested in you and you can change things up. As opposed to 95% of the time when you do these shows, you're going to be given that basic match every single show. You all know from promoters, they're just going to be like 10 minutes, keys over, do whatever you want to do. And that's basically what you guys should be doing is that basic match. Unfortunately, that's what we stuck with. But when, with Verde, like right now here, he's so over with the crowd, we're going to start being able to do all these like different things with him because he is that kind of character, like people are invested with him, so you can start putting him in different style of matches because people care. And when people don't care, there's no point in having a match like that because it's just too much.
Right now, I totally agree with you on that. Now, like I say, do the first type of match, just a simple progression match, here to here. Get that down. The promoters will notice this. You know that the promoters will notice that you hit your time limit right too, especially on the undercard. Get your time limits right if they give them to you. I don't know if they do that stage. They give you all time limits.
Don't be afraid to go short. If you go a minute, you go 30 seconds, a minute short. As long as you got the crowd where they need to be, don't drag it out.
We have these things nowadays called cell phones. There's no reason why the referee can't put his cell phone in his pocket. Somebody, an agent in the back, a booker in the back, a promoter in the back, can call that number and let it vibrate, and he's telling the ref to take home. It'd be nice if we could all afford earpieces. That'd be great. But if you're working with a promoter and you know it's a smaller promotion, they can't afford you go somewhere, make a suggestion. If they're all bitching, oh, I'm going too long, I'm going too long. Why don't you think about this? Use your head. That's the biggest thing in Indies I see people doing is not using their head. It's not hard. What we do is extremely hard, but it's not hard to be smarter than what we're doing right now. Now let me get on the thing that I was going to bring up. That I've been working on, guys, is the 10 count by the referee. I wish we had something to be here today. Pay attention to the 10 count by the referee. It's really not the referee's position to have to cover for you. You can pay attention to the 10 count. Does it happen in the WWE, TNA, everyone? Yes. When it gets down to it, we don't want the referee to count you out. That's when he should go out and say, hey, pay attention to my 10 count. And be serious. He's not working, he's saying it. Because you have to do that. In 1973, they changed it from a 20 count to a 10 count. And there's a reason why they did that. And that's because TV time. That's the only reason they changed it. He really should go back and give you guys enough time outside the ring to do your spot. Yes, Japan always still does it. Yes. And the reason is so they can do their spots outside. You don't see the Japanese have a problem with that because of that. So pay attention and listen. Listen to that stuff. You know, try to work with the referee.
You don't want to make them look, that's the thing too with refs, you don't want to make them look stupid. You make a ref look stupid, you make the match look stupid.
And the promotion.
We're doing, we're going to tell the refs now, we're like, there's always, every stupid tag team match, there's always the spot where like, the partner will come in and the other guy will be like, hey, come with me, referee.
Let's
make the ref look like a dumb ass so you guys can do it.
What sport would allow that to happen? So we're trying to say we're a sport. We're trying to say, look at us, we're doing something that looks real. Look at us, we're good at what we're doing.
Like, no, get out of the ring. Like,
I saw this last weekend. Of course, I'm not tall enough, but imagine I'm the ref. The guy grabs the ref and puts his hands over his eyes so he can't see what's going on behind him. What is the ref going to do? How bad do you think that ref is an idiot? How bad do you think that promotion is for having a referee that looks like an idiot? Why would they hire somebody that can't do their job? These fans are thinking that. Don't think they're not. They're thinking, well, that's stupid. Why would you even have a referee if he can't see what every one of us can see? The reason is the finishes are not thought through. You do a finish and you think that that's it, it'll be fine. This particular match, they used the briefcase 4 or 5 times. The referee can hear the briefcase. Come on, everybody can hear it. We have to be more logical with our finishes. We got to think them through, make them shorter. They get too convoluted with your finish.
And deal with some brass knucks on that.
Repeat that, please.
Yes, make them shorter. They're too convoluted. Brass knuckles. Now that was here at your show last time. I talked to Scotty, I said, that punch you threw on David was pretty weak. He goes, well, I'm a manager. I said, you're right, I don't expect you to punch like a wrestler. And he goes, and I had real brass knuckles. I said, wow. He goes, well, it looks better. I said, to who? He goes, to the fans. I said, they didn't see them, they didn't touch them. Why do you think it looked better to the fans? Well, I said, you tape up some tape, some foam rubber, they won't know the difference between a set of real brass knuckles and fake because you're going to put them away. You know, be smart. Then you can lay that punch in.
Slapjack, yeah.
You know, be smart. Don't be stupid. Think like a wrestler. You do not need real hammers. TNA does not use real hammers and hit each other in the head. Think, guys.
They got a whole factory that is a prop department.
I showed y'all the last time I came with my back. I showed you my fake knuckles that I made up. They will work just fine. We got one manager and the other managers here. And I talk to you. This is what I don't. Every manager has to get involved. No, you don't. You are a secondary character manager. You do not have to get involved with what's going on. You are important to help tell the story, but you are not the spotlight. It says wrestling, not managing, not refereeing, not announcing, not promoting, not booking, anything else that says wrestling. That is the most important thing, is the story being told in the ring. Everybody else has to assist that story being told in the ring. So a manager should, and if you Go look up Bobby Heenan on YouTube and listen to what he said. Bobby Heenan on management. You think it's just me saying this? No. Every decent manager that's ever been in the business will tell you he's there to assist his wrestlers. He's not there to get the spotlight and have everybody look at him and think he's great. He wants his wrestler to look great, because if he looks great, I'm his manager, I'm going to be great. It'll make me, I'm his mouthpiece, I get to talk.
Yeah.
And I get to make him something, so I will get the rub from him. But he's the one that's got to be in the ring and do the moves. So that's important. Think about that stuff. Think about all this stuff that I'm saying. I know I'm throwing it out here real fast because I know you guys want to get in the ring and work.
Take your time, they need to hear this.
Okay.
Stuff with manager too, I'd like to bring up is like, and I'm not saying anything to you in particular, but just like anybody that ever has a valet, a manager, like there's way too much guys that like they'll be walking ring to ring like during the match, or there's a spot going on and they'll be like yelling at the crowd.
Absolutely.
Like,
You're taking
getting
it away
from the match that's going on in the ring. Like if you have a manager that does that, tell them to not do that because they're taking attention away from your match. Like you're basically a cheerleader. You know, a lot of times managers are given to people that can't talk that well. So this manager, generally, if you're a manager, you can talk. If you can't talk, you know, you're going to be a valet or like a security guard or something like that. But like they're there for a reason. But at the same point, you're basically a cheerleader. You know, you react to the match, you sell things, but a lot of times it's just staying put. And there's nothing wrong with moving around, but it has to be like in the right time. It's the whole thing you don't want to take away from what's going on in the ring. Like, that's focus always.
What about as a worker, like when my match with Lance, like during his entrance, I was circling the ring. I was kind of like trying to show the crowd I was ready to fight, like, and I had like a bunch of people that watched the match say, well, you kind of took away from his entrance. Is that true? Should I kind of just stay
Are you in the ring right now?
in the ring?
Okay.
So like I see he's making the round around the ring, like getting to the ring. You know, is that a bad thing?
If
Like,
anything, as a baby, I say at that point, you definitely want to like have a match with the guy. But if anything, like go back to your corner here, baby. You're always gonna like let the guy get in the ring, and you know what I mean, and just like let the ref check the pad or something, just to like be downtown enough so that he can do his thing. If you were a heel in that scenario and a baby comes out, you definitely want to get out of the ring, leave the ring for him. In that scenario, you're a baby, so you don't want to cower someone. But you know, yeah, just tone down a little. You don't
Be a
want to-
student in the game. You watch what the big boys do. So yeah, they will lead you, right? You see what they do. If you have a question, look at it. Then go back to your trainer and double check with your trainer, because for this situation here, like Dagon was saying, most managers are mouthpieces. But you know what? In the indies nowadays, that's not true. You know, that's not true. People talk all the time. That could be the greatest wrestler that can put on the greatest promo, and they'll stick a manager with him. Things are a little convoluted in indie wrestling.
Because the manager will be local or something.
Yeah, some friend of the promoter's brother-in-law, hey, I want to get him on the show, let's stick him. Oh my God, and now we're going to get into something that really drives me insane, is we need another referee. Is your brother-in-law sitting down? Go get him. Never been trained. Can't be a referee. Never been trained. He's going to help you wrestle. The referee is there to help you. He's a secondary character. He is there to further the storyline with you. The two guys that work together is the two wrestlers. The next two that work together is a manager and the referee. They work together. They should be together talking about what's going to happen.
Refs just get in the way on matches.
Why is it
They'll
that
be
way?
like jumping the guys away spots because they don't know what's going on. They'll be like chilling on the rope or something's going on because they don't know what's going on. Refs, you watch a really good ref now when a big move goes on, they like jump with the move. They're like, oh my God, like that's a good example. Like you watch these guys on television, they're just like,
But not Mr. B.
they're another cheerleader. Mr. B's just a mark.
Mr. B, Mr. B.
He's not even a trained wrestler. I wish I knew his real name, so I would not call him by a gimmick.
But Mr. B does this, and Mr. B does that. We got your
We're
paper.
talking about the manager always going there. The only reason why I would do that is that guy may be selling tickets. But now, if you guys are selling tickets, we don't need to coach a football team or something like that. That's the only scenario why I myself would put somebody else like that.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
or something like
No,
that.
no, no,
You
seen like a local high school football coach.
Yeah, that's the
get
worst.
that-
Then you're bringing in somebody else.
Yeah.
That'd be the only reason why we use like a lot of still, like you said.
The local high school football coach is throwing tickets. I don't know about nowadays.
Yes. Yes, and they still would nowadays if you could get in the high
He
school.
was always a stiff prick.
I've seen pep rallies.
Yes.
The football coach got attacked by wrestlers, and then that night they had like a wrestling show.
It's a good thing. If you could get into high schools today, like in the 80s, we were able to get in high schools, it would be a whole different story and you would draw much better. It's hard. It's really hard. I'm just talking about the basic stuff, for everybody in here. Yes, don't misuse your referee. Let me stress that and stress that and stress that. Think about your finishes so that it doesn't make the referee look stupid in there. Because this really does affect your finish. It affects the referee. If the referee is the one all the fans are yelling at, who's got the most heat? The heel or the referee?
Yeah.
The referee.
Well, that's my thing too, with sometimes, like halfway through the show, like the crowd will be like, oh, they'll boo a ref or something. No reason to boo a ref other than he's been put in stupid scenarios up until that point on the
Bad
show.
situation.
It shouldn't be that way.
That's what the guy told me the other day. He goes, man, after the show, people were waiting on the referee. I said, what about the heels? He goes, oh, they walk by. I'm going, don't you think there's a problem there? If the fans are waiting to get the referee and the heels just walk right by and nobody pays attention to them, doesn't that click in somebody's head? Something wrong.
Common things to remember.
Somebody not doing their job.
Absolutely, and that is something. It should be talked about in the back. Steve, you guys, and all these other promotions should be in the back talking up and talking things. There should be nothing that comes to the ring that doesn't go through your promoter, your I don't know if you're an agent or whatever, the main person. Nothing should. You should never get out of the ring without telling the guys in charge. That is something that is not allowed when you make it to the level that it counts when you're making big money. You don't even get out of the ring. So you don't do that. You don't add anything extra. You don't bring anything extra without you've gone by. It's always good, I've talked to you about being sure, because that show you run down there, the same finish. Somebody said 3 matches.
With the same finish.
Same finish. That's the one thing you don't want. So don't be scared to walk up to the other guys and go, hey man, this is my finish. You guys doing that? Check. It's kind of your responsibility. It should be an agent in the back that comes to
Mark and I asked more than anything to sit up here the last year and a half outside, more than anything to see same couple moves or the same finisher in 2 or 3 matches.
Absolutely. There's no reason. We are supposed to be professionals. That means if you're a good wrestler, it also means you think. It's just common sense. I want to know what he's doing, because what if he's doing a superplex and he's doing a superplex and he's doing a superplex and he's doing a superplex? After a while, those fans are going, well, he came up and fought. He came up and fought. He came up and fought. Well, this guy got pinned on the superplex, but he's not worth crap. These guys are better than him. That's not what you're trying to do. If you're going to get a move over as a finisher, the rest of the guys can't do it. And that's why you tell somebody what we're finishing with. And they go, oh, who's going to do that? Who are going to do that in the spot? Please, could y'all change the spot? That's our finish move. Of course, it makes a difference where you are on the card. You realize that. If you're on the card and he's finishing with it, you got to change. If he's the veteran, you change. The veteran is doing it, you change. Unless you're here, the veteran's here. It's where you're on the card. It's a progression. That word again. You will find it, think about it all the time. Progression. Everything you do. In your match, the story, your kickouts on pins, the types of moves you do, you get more dynamic, more doing them. Everything in your promo is a progression as it goes. As you make that first level and go, then you'll see it start going up and down, and it'll become easier for you to do these things. But get that first step, the first level down. Any questions?
I got one thing to say though. Before, even like during this process of this first match, you have to have a character. You have to have a gimmick. There has to be something that you are, you bring to the table, and then that comes together with this type of match, because your gimmick, your character, you're going to do a set list of moves because of it's influenced by your character. You know what I mean? you're never going to end up being the character that you want to be. You know what I mean? Like when I first started wrestling, I'm telling you, I say this all the time. If somebody would have told me that I was going to be a longer and love it, I would have probably spit on your feet.
Especially since birth of my son. You know,
I literally probably thought there was a fight mark. You know what I mean? Like I would have just not even have gone for it. You know what I mean? Like there's no way in hell.
but you're over here.
But yeah, like you get to a point to where you realize like what you might think is cool or something isn't exactly what sells tickets, what people want to see or are entertained by. And then what you do as an artist or something, you take this, maybe even something you might not exactly like, but you make it work, you make it entertaining to you so that you can live with it. Because this might be something you're going to be booked with for a couple of years. You know, you don't know. Your idea of a good gimmick and the promoter's idea of what they want you to do are two different worlds.
That's right. And the promoters will pay attention if you take that character and you make something up and you bust your butt like you're doing right now with that character, and it's getting over everywhere. That may not be what you want to be.
It just happened.
That's what I was talking about being a fantasy wrestler. That you can't be that wrestler you fantasize that you can be unless you actually fill that bill for that thing. I started off, my first character was the Mongolian. Had a little tail in the back, 2-man shoe, barefoot, pair of trunks.
So look up and
That's
you
how I
look
started.
apart.
That's what I did. That's what they stuck me in there. I changed. I became Kid Dynamite. Of course, all the promoters billed me as Dynamite Kid, making people think that Tom Billingsley was coming there. And I kept telling them, no. I'm named after a boxer, Kid Dynamite. Yeah, okay then. So I went up to Valdosta. Yeah, went up to Valdosta. We're wrestling against the Mathematics up there. Big Overs up there. Big tag team. Been around forever. We're wrestling against him. My partner, same height as me. We look almost like cousins, brothers. And we get in the ring, and they're doing an interview with the announcer, and they go, "We're the tag team champions. We don't have to wrestle midgets." You know, I'm going, "Oh, geez, that really buried us," you know. And he goes, "I'm telling you this, we're not getting in that ring because that's nothing but a bunch of Smurfs." Oh, crap. So after the match, I started talking. I said, "Come on, I got an idea." So we came home. We had a pair of tights, blue trunks with Smurfs on the back, white jackets that said Smurfs. We showed up at the next taping. The promoter, Grady Odom, who was the promoter up there, said, "I love that. You guys are going back against the Medics on TV this week." So we showed up with the Smurfs. The crowd loved it. We became the most popular tag team for 2 years in that promotion and beat the Medics for the titles in Columbus, Georgia, in front of 4,000 people in front of their Coliseum. Because of a stupid thing he said, making fun of us, I said, "Let's try it, let's do it." I'm still known as Smurfs up there. Many people still remember the Smurfs up there. It became something that caught on. The kids loved it. Grady Odom told me this. He goes, "Let me tell you something. You guys appeal to kids. Every one of these little kids that come to the show gets a ticket. And every one of the kids has to bring mommy with him or dad. That's 2 tickets. I make a little bit more on you guys. Why would I not push you guys? The fans loved you. The TV studio had waiting room only. People had to wait because we would do 4 TV shows. They would wait. They had to empty them out. I had a woman crochet pillowcases. We had people invited to their home to eat there. We went because we were trying to get those fans to come back. We did that stuff. We were the most popular tag team. We had promoters calling us from all over the country to do the Smurf gimmick. I never would have believed it. You just don't know. But you go wholeheartedly into it. You know, we knew we were wrestling. We didn't come out and go, la, 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 la. We didn't do that. We were good wrestlers. We were a tag team. We were the smallest tag team.
I heard you had a good dance.
I feel that's
We made it. But we were a small tag team. We knew our role. We knew we weren't going to beat the guys, the 6-footers that weighed 300 pounds. We went in there and tried to outsmart them. And then they would tear us up, beat us up. Next time we come back, the Smurfs luck up and get a win. The fans go crazy. It's all about appealing to the fans, giving them what they want, so they'll buy tickets for the next show. That's what happened. Everybody knows locker room etiquette. Everybody's aware of locker room etiquette, right? We've all been talking about it.
I seriously, that's, as a promoter, I don't care what you do out there, anybody can make it, most anybody can do good, but what I feel as a promoter, back there in the locker room, if you're a cancer or a dick, peaceful locker room, then it's not worth me booking somebody, because unless you're a super over and selling 100 tickets, if you're a big mouth or trouble in that locker room, that's not much promoter who still wrestles every once in a while and doesn't want to fool with. So locker room etiquette is a big thing, and I think is not being taught.
Absolutely. That is one of the things. Everybody knows you shake hands with everybody. Doesn't matter who there is. I wrote a story about, I went up to Hazelhurst, Georgia. I was always early. I always had to go early because I wanted to meet the promoter face to face, because that's what you have to do. You make contacts in this business. In the old days, we didn't have YouTube. We didn't have this many shows. You had to make contacts. You had to wrestle guys and bust your ass and put them over so they'd go home and talk about you and tell their promoter. And I would go in early, meet the guy, shake his hand, and I went into the locker room. Guys started showing up. I shook everybody's hand, I come to a little kid and I said, "Hey, how you doing? I'm Dynamite." Shook his hand. He goes, "Oh, I like you, Smurfs." I said, "Hey, it's great, man. I'll give you a picture." Talked to him, came back. During the show, we finished our match and went back. The promoter come up to me, he goes, "I appreciate you talking to my son. He really likes you. We're going to keep booking you." That's smart. You shake hands with everybody. You don't know if it's the promoter's wife, his daughter. You shake hands with every single person because you're brothers with everybody. If they're in that locker room, they're in the business somehow.
Even, I would say way about people selling concessions.
Absolutely.
Even if it's just a gopher person, set the chairs over.
That's why I said that prevent staff.
Yeah,
I think
just
security should be
same
doing
things
this,
at the end of the show.
everybody. They are workers. They help the show. You've got to be there. They are all brothers in this thing together. You've got to take care of each other. Be respectful for everybody in the business. There are a lot of times, and I've been in y'all's locker room, a lot of times y'all gather up together, and it's a lot different today than in my day because they would come by and give us a finish, and that was about it. This is the finish we want. If you're going over, this is how you're going over. And then we would work 3, 4, maybe 6 spots if we thought we had enough time. You guys get together and you go over it, over it, and over it. You add spots, you add spots, you add spots. That's different from me. I'm not saying it's wrong. I'm amazed at what you guys do. I'm amazed. I know I could not do that in my day. Do I think there's better, more athletic wrestlers today? Yes. Do I think it was better in the old days? The wrestling, no. It was more fun because we were a team traveling together. It was just like being a minor league baseball team. We traveled to the same cities with the same guys. We ate at the same place. It was great times. I mean, I could go forever with road stories and everything. You guys got it different. It's a promotion here, promotion there. You wrestle another guy here. You're down there. You come back to this one. You don't wrestle the same guy. So, you've got to get together, talk it over like you do already. Think a little bit about limiting so many spots. If you're on the card, you let the main event, semi-main, do whatever they want to do. Limit so many spots and just tell that basic story. Once you get that down, once you I think I'm telling the story well. I think we're starting slow, we're building up, we hit our high spots. I feel like the crowd is paying attention and we're noticing we're controlling the crowd. Now, I don't know if y'all noticed that. Pay attention to the crowd while you're wrestling. It's a lot to do. Pay attention to the crowd, pay attention to the referee, pay attention to your opponent, and pay attention to yourself. And if it was easy, everybody would do it. Which is like indie wrestling, right? Everybody thinks they can do it. But the good ones rise up. The cream of the crop will come up. You'll move up. You'll move up. You'll move up. You'll move up if you pay attention. Study. Be a student of the game. The last time I was here, I told you guys, it's just like being in a college chemistry course for the rest of your life. And all the rules and everything changes. It's different in my day. It's not worse, it's better. It's harder. It's going to change on you. You're going to have to study the whole time you're in this business and get better. You're going to think, how can I get better? Can I drop a little weight? Can I put on a little muscle? Can I get faster? Can I practice the moves and get faster? Those things are maybe what you need in your character. Just like Dagon says, just like I explained, find your niche and it works. Don't think that you can be a badass when you don't look like a badass. Don't think you can look like Andre the Giant when you're my size. It is not going to work. You have to deal with your strengths and your weaknesses.
A lot of times that's up to the promoters too. Like,
It is.
Sometimes,
Nick Dinsmore did not come to Eugene.
I can talk to guys all the time and be like, this is what you need to do, and you're like, nah, that's not what I want to do. But
That's
the
fantasy
promoter,
wrestling.
the promoter puts you in a scenario, and at the end of the scenario, you look awesome. You gotta kind of think about,
We have to do what the promoter says.
Yeah.
It's different today because
You're
we're
not
not
always
doing
gonna
there's
wanna do
promotions
this,
all
yeah.
over. But it was a smaller group of promoters in my day, so you were thankful that they were using you. You damn well were going to do whatever you told them because he wouldn't use you. Now you can just pick up and go downstate, and there's 5 promoters in Orlando, there's 10 promoters in Tampa, there's 4 promoters in Jacksonville. It's not as hard to get booked, but it's all about getting better, about the progression, about you and your wrestling ability progressing up and getting better and better. The locker room etiquette, to think about that and say, what can I do? Let's not just grab ass and talk about what we were doing and I went to the fair and I did this and I did that. No, let's get in there and talk. Let's make connections and meet people. Say hello. Sit down and say, what do you think I need? Ask the vets. What do you think I need to work on? Did you see my match? What do you think is my strength that I can work on? Ask them. Every single veteran I have interviewed, and I've interviewed a lot of them, have said, if anybody asks me a question, I will answer it and I will help them. Every single, not one of them said, no, I don't want to do that. No, I don't like to talk. Every single one said, I'd love to help you guys. So go to them. Last time I was here, John Davis was
you gotta
here.
be a little iffy with some of the people he has, though. There's a whole lot of bitter pills out there.
Well, that's the problem is, sometimes you may hear your match sucked.
You may not want to hear that.
But that's the biggest, that's
It
what
depends on who it comes from, though.
That's true.
I've heard that from
Most
the
of
right
the-
person, and I can take it with that, because if the right person says it, it means a little more, it hurts a lot more. But if it's a random person that's just being an ass because they might be negative about something else, like, that's it.
That's why I say go to a vet.
Yeah.
That you can trust it will give you an honest opinion.
Yeah.
Don't be scared to do that. Most of them will help you. But if he does say, oh my God, man, you do not even know how to do an arm drag. Say, well, could you help me? Could you help me, man?
exactly.
Because I talked to a guy the other day and he goes, oh man, you're complaining about my arm drags. And I said, well, how are you doing? He said, when we lock up, I just drag him. And I said, okay. Do you do it any other time? No, not really, just when we lock up. I'm going, man, there's like a whole bunch of different arm drags. You just don't do one from a lockup. So if the guy's charging you, it's a different type of arm drag. There's an arm drag that you do is very similar to a hip toss.
Yeah.
See, the guy's coming and you're going to take him and get him up. When you drag him, your hand is used here to get a height so he comes down flat. And if he comes down flat, or if he's running at you and he slides, you can't hold that arm. But if you get him up in the air and you land, you can roll right over and go into that arm bar. And he's not sliding away from you. There's more than one of every move. There's more than one hip toss. There's more one than just a hip toss. It's the same hip toss, you know, right? When you get a hip toss, you want to sky that guy because that's what looks good, is if he gets the height from a hip toss. So you don't just flop him over. You step up as he comes in. When you come in for that thing, it's your job to get up and over. Just like the back drop, just like an arm drag, just like it's your job to cooperate with the move. And that comes in practice. That's what Dagon's here for, is to get you in there and think about basic stuff that gets left behind because you want to hurry up and get to the big spots. I want to hurry up and do a suplex, superplex. Oh, I want to hurry up and I want to do the tornado DDT. Oh, I want to hurry up and do that. Look, hip toss, arm drags, headlocks. Can you do those? Yeah, I can do it. And you say, let me see it. Got off, man. You did a great tornado DDT, but you can't do those during the match. You have to start with something. So, you can't work on your basics. That's what will impress most people.
Don't be afraid to just do a move, as opposed to like 3 moves. You gotta, and there's nothing wrong with doing combo moves, but you need to allow time for each move to resonate. You don't want to
It has to
you don't want to let
mean
someone
something.
take a bump and then them come right up and sell into another move. Like you want like it to be like boom, oh shit, oh shit. Like you want each thing to be able to absorb. You don't want it to be like. It's like, it's more of like a workout routine than doing these moves. It takes away from it.
Makes it look weak.
Yeah, it takes it away, especially too if you end with one move.
At that progression though, as it gets toward the end of the match, you're gonna speed up that stuff.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, that's in the beginning. As you go with your progression, you're gonna speed it a little faster. Running late. Okay,
They're on your side.
okay. We went through locker room etiquette, just to basically treat people like you want to be treated. It doesn't matter if you hate their guts while you're in the locker room. Don't treat them like crap because your promoter may be watching you, the agent may be watching you, and he might want to push that guy, and he's got to choose between him and you. Which one is he going to choose? He's going to choose the guy that he's going to push. So when I talked to you, you said you don't want to start any problems in the locker room. You are absolutely right. You never, ever start problems in the locker room. You got a problem with the guy, talk to him on your own time. That locker room is a band of brothers. That's what that is. So you hate his guts, but you let it pass. Is there fights? Has there been fights? Have there been fights? Hell yeah. You lose your temper. It's part of athletics. You're fired up, you will lose your temper. That's why you got guys in the back. You got agent, promoter, the other guys, you break them up as quick as you can. You don't need, like what happened to Randy Savage. He got his jaw broke on a big spot and he was fixing to run and get a big push. He couldn't do it. And you certainly don't want to